Welcome, everybody, to today's edition of Home Solutions. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's enjoying this weather. We finally got a break from monsoon season and got some good weather here this week. It's starting to warm up, looking beautiful. Folks, Dennis Purvis here with you, as always, from Pro 93 Home Solutions. Hope you're doing well. Just want to thank everybody for listening. We appreciate the feedback we've been getting on Facebook and on our website. Thank you guys so much. We are the area's only local home and garden show. We want to make sure that we're bringing you everything you need to take care of your home, whether it's DIY or maybe it's stuff you want to farm out. We're trying to bring some of the best local folks in here every week in and week out, to give you options of who's around. I know the hardest thing sometimes is finding out who to call. And because of that, today, ladies and gentlemen, I have brought the fence expert. We all need them. Sometimes you want to keep out the neighbors. Sometimes you got a pool, hot tub. You got to have them for insurance. Well, folks, you're trying to figure out who to call? I have the expert with us from Benefield Fence today. Brother, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing well. And Tony, you guys have you're no stranger to Cleveland.
No, been here quite a while.
Been there a while, and fencing wasn't your original career path, right?
Well, I started fencing when I was 13 years old.
Yep, before that, folks, his father had him working even harder.
Yeah, actually, I was a babysitter before that.
There you go.
But started when I was 13, and my uncle used me as slave labor.
That's how it works.
He bought my lunch, and I worked.
There you go.
But I've done other things during my lifetime, yes, and but the common thread as I've always done fencing. My uncle owned a company, and he would call me up even when I was working other jobs and other career, and say, "I need you over here," or "I need you to go do this." And normally I would just help him out. Sometimes I would figure out that he wanted me to do the harder jobs, and I finally caught on. And I'd say, "How hard is this job?" But anyway, I learned a lot by doing it that way.
And but you didn't stay with just fencing. You've got a pretty interesting background.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit what you did as a slight diversion for a bit.
Yeah, well, I was in law enforcement for many years. I've probably done everything in law enforcement that there is to do. I started as a cadet, which is when I was 15 or 16, probably 16, and worked as a cadet through the Scouts. And we got to ride along with deputies and stuff like that. Then when I was 18, I went to work as a communications officer. Back then we called it dispatchers.
Yeah.
Back then we called them dispatchers in jail, but you can't say that anymore.
Yep.
Or you don't say it anymore. It's not, it's moved on to other names, but corrections officer and communications. But worked as a dispatcher for a while, and then I went in the Army. Served a little bit there, went to Germany, and then got out. And anyway, I pursued the law enforcement career, and I've been a deputy sheriff. I've been a city police. I worked drug investigations. One time in this area, I was the director of the 10th Judicial Drug Task Force for about 7 years. I wore two hats at the same time. I was chief of detectives at the sheriff's office here in Bradley County, and so I've done that. Like I say, I was in patrol, a detective, and I worked my way up to the chief detective, and that was where I spent most of my time. When I left the sheriff's office and retired, I was basically chief of operations, which had patrol, investigations, corrections, about the whole 9 yards. And then I took a stint for the state of Tennessee for a while, working with sex offenders and violent offenders.
So when you said you've done it all, brother, you have covered the gamut.
Done it about all.
So I'm assuming retired from law enforcement?
I am. I actually get to draw a check.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And decided to go back to your roots, huh?
Well, here's the thing. What was fun about that is I got to have a career that I really loved, and then at the end of it, during that time, they'd give me a check, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
I got to do something I enjoyed and still get a check. And now they pay me a check after I'm already finished with it. Yeah. And so, my son and I, we started a fence company about 4 years ago. And like I said, he's our main face on it. He's got a prettier face. younger
I would
face.
agree. I would agree
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
For those
So-
of you watching on Facebook Live, if you go to their website, you'll see exactly what he means.
Yeah.
We got two guys here with faces for radio.
Yeah, exactly.
But you definitely got the radio voice. Austin here at the station did sound check and said, "Wow, that's a radio voice."
Yeah, maybe I need a third.
Hey,
for
there
a
you
fourth
go,
career.
Steve. Are you hiring?
Yeah,
Still
there we go. I'll put in an application.
So you guys started Benefield Fence Company, but you guys are actually going through a little bit of a transition on the name, right?
Yeah, we are transitioning. We'll always use Benefield because been here. My kids are here, my grandkids are here, and my great grandkids are here. So
Well, God, that's fantastic.
yeah. So, but and I know over the years, known a lot of people. So, what we've done is we formed an LLC, and it's called Benefence. One word: BENEFENCE.
Love it.
I don't want to offend anybody. It's easy to do these days, but somebody said, "Well, now you can have friends with benefits."
There you go.
So
You
you can be
friends
on
with
Facebook friends with benefits.
And listen, I want to just go ahead before we get into talking about the types of fence and everything you guys do. Let me give you a little personal. We've Pro 93, we're contractors. We do a lot of home remodeling, and part of some of our jobs includes, especially with insurance work, storm damage, is people's fences don't make it through tornadoes too often. And so I need somebody that we can call, that we can depend on, and we just had a fantastic experience working with Tony and his crews. They're there when they say they are. In fact, they're there ahead of time when we thought we could get it done. The last job we did, we had the homeowner decided after the fact she wanted to add some more, and not only did Tony not give me a bunch of grief for it, but got back out there the next day to get it finished and make a very, very happy customer, which makes us obviously at Pro 93 look even better. So, folks, I can tell you from experience, the not only is the workmanship top notch, but you get great service from. Is it Sherry in your office at the Sherry?
Sherry is my office manager. She's also my sister. But,
Well, Sherry is fantastic to work with and to deal with, and Tony and his crews were great. So I can't say enough, folks. I can tell you, if you're wondering who should I call, you're checking out, I can tell you from experience, give them a shot. Their prices are fantastic. And you're dealing with some folks that, obviously, if you just heard his story, you're dealing with local folks. And I think that's something we all want to do here in our community, and something we try to do as much as we can at Pro 93 is we're a small business here in town, and we want to deal with other local small businesses and help each other lift, all tides rise with, or all ships rise with the tide, right?
Yep.
So tell a little bit of how they get a hold of you guys.
Well, the simplest thing to do is if you have a phone, just call 423-790-9585.
So you mean these phones can actually call people
Yes, both ways. It works both ways.
That is crazy.
In fact, I think twice in the last 2 days, maybe 3 times, I have actually pushed a button on my phone and talked to 3 different people on the same conversation.
Oh my gosh,
it's amazing! It's amazing. Yes, and the other is we have a website, and it's very simple: BenefieldFence.com. I was about to add something to it, but it's real simple.
Yeah.
BenefieldFence.com. Our email is very simple also. It's simply sales@BenefieldFence.com.
And that's BENEFIELD. Listen, for all the whether, no matter how you're listening today, whether you're maybe you're going around today, you're thinking about some things that you're going to do at the house later today on this beautiful day. Maybe you're headed out to one of the local hardware stores or garden centers, and you've been thinking about a fence or updating what you've got. Listen, we're about to get into all the things they do, folks. Give Tony and their crew a shot. Whether you're listening on 104.1 here, 101.3, or maybe you're watching us on Facebook, or maybe you're tuned into the Mix 104.1 app. If you don't have it, you need to get it. You can stream anytime, no matter where you are. So, Tony, let's just dig in. So, I know one of the first things I heard from you when we talked for the first time was, if it's a fence, we can do it. We can do it. Yeah. So let's just go down the line. So kind of start chain link fence, pros, cons. When is it a good? If you're advising a customer, they're in between. What's the pros and cons when you're dealing with chain link?
There's basically two kinds of chain link. You got your standard galvanized look, silver.
Yep.
Used to be a lot of them. Sears did a lot of fences years ago, and to be honest with you, some of them fences are still in. We run into them, and they'll have a Sears cap on it, or what they used to call armadillo.
Yeah.
And it's a different feel to the top rail. They lasted a long time. The posts back then were thicker.
Yeah.
And that's why they last. Nowadays, they've cut back, kind of like ice cream.
Yeah.
You go to get ice cream, you pay more for it and get less of it. And that's the same way with about every industry right now. So, the materials are a little thinner, but they're still lasting for years and years. I mean, you can order heavy stuff, but it just costs so much to get it in, and usually it's cost prohibitive. But the galvanized chain link, then you have a vinyl coated chain link. Most of what you see is black. Used to see some green. Now they've made it to where in order to get green, you got to pay a color fee, which is substantial. You can get about any color you want if you're willing to pay that color fee. And I forgot what it is. I don't ever have anybody that wants it, so
listen,
we don't do it.
When you have somebody, when the owner of the company says it's substantial, folks, chances are you need to think about something else.
Yeah, I would.
There's probably better ways to spend your money.
There's a lot of different designs to go with. The difference is your chain link, the galvanized chain link. A lot of people don't like it because it looks kind of institutional or whatever. And around the nicer homes, people go with the black, and even a lot of homes, even those that are older homes, we've done a lot of black. The advantage to the galvanized is it's more durable.
Yeah.
The black is, I won't get into technicalities, but it's called a 9 gauge, and the silver is called 11.5, which a 9 would be bigger, but they're including the plastic cover or the coating, the vinyl coating.
Yeah.
So it's softer to push against. It's great for kids. It doesn't have those little ticks on them, those little points on them like galvanized does. When they dip that galvanized, sometimes there's little points on them, and they can kind of skin you a little bit. But also the vinyl's softer, so if a kid was to fall against it, it's going to bounce easier. It's not as tight. We've had some people that want to complain about this fence isn't as tight, and I said, no, you don't want it to be. We can jack that down like a rubber band to where it's only like 2 feet tall from 4 feet. So, and that's also the advantage of it. It's meant to give. So a lot of places around not nursing home, but kids where you keep kids, playgrounds, daycares. That's the word I was looking. Not nursing home. It's about 100 years difference.
Yeah.
But that's the chain link field. There's advantages. There's disadvantages. If you have a big dog that likes to jump on a fence, you still want to go black or some other color. You need to do what Lee University down here has done a lot of: put up the heavier galvanized fence and paint it.
Yeah.
Because the big dogs will dent that fence eventually.
Yeah. Now, when you talk about chain link, is that on the affordability? Is that is that in the middle, low, high? Where does that usually fall price wise?
Well, the first fence is what I call a farm fence, and that's just wire and T drive posts that are metal.
Yes, sir.
And corner wood bracing. That's probably your cheapest to go.
And you guys do that as well?
Oh yeah, yes. And then next to that, and there's a lot of variation between that. We've done horse fences, we've done horse wire, which is it looks like a cable, TV cable, and we've done that. It's softer for the horses. If they run into it, it gives it more give again.
Well, we've seen a lot of folks on decks now using hog fence and goat fence instead of the traditional.
And we do that.
spindles.
I call it framed wire because you can frame the goat fence, the cattle fence. Those are heavier, heavy metal,
and it's got a good look to it.
Yeah, and then you can do, especially if you stain one. Yeah. Then you can do the. We just finished one in McDonald, a framed fence, and we use the black vinyl chain link.
Oh, nice.
Inside of it, so they're going to stain it eventually, and I want to go back and get a picture of it. But we've done quite a few of those what I call framed wire fence, and I just sent today a lady over in Spring City a picture of the framed the framed cattle wire. Yeah. She wants something to go around her pool. Yeah. And she wanted, they kind of live in they call it the country area or something, in their homeowner association likes them to have something kind of matches a cattle, or not the cattle, but the country setting.
Yep.
So that would probably look good and be appropriate.
And that's probably something we'll be taking our first break here in just a second, but I think that's something people need to always check before they get to you or to the fence is if you're in a subdivision, chances are there's a homeowners association or some covenants that are going to dictate a lot of places, especially in these newer developments, what kind of fence you can and, more importantly, cannot have, correct?
Yes, we've run into some homeowner association, and I understand that. You don't want someone living next door to you if you don't, if you don't like it. You don't want to, somebody working on 40 cars in their front yard. So that's why they have that to begin with. But we've had a lot of homeowner associations. Some will require this and that. Some won't let you put, like we had one that won't let us put or won't let the customer put a wooden privacy fence. It has to look like a farm.
Yeah.
So we put rail fence up there, the 4 rail looks like a ranch style. And we can still put wire behind that you really can't see.
Yeah.
I mean, if you walk up to it, you can see it, but from a distance, from the road, you're probably not going to tell it has wire. But that also helps keep the dogs and
so you guys got solutions.
And the monkeys out.
You got solutions for anybody's problem. That's the nice thing.
Yeah, we try to. Yeah.
Well, real quick before we take our first break, how do they get a hold of you guys one more time?
Phone number is 423-790-9585. BenefieldFence.com. You can go on there and send us a message. Also, sales at BenefieldFence.com.
Folks, Tony from Benefield Fence. You're listening to Home Solution. We'll be back. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to Home Solutions here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging around with us. I got Tony Benefield from Benefield Fence here with us today in studio. Happy Saturday to everybody. And just a reminder, if you're listening today and you've got anything popping up in your house, we're all kind of stuck there in our houses more than ever. So we're living in these things day in, day out, working. Some of us going to school there. If you have any sort of home repairs or you're just tired of looking at that tile, you want a new bathroom, maybe you're looking at it's time to update some fixtures, give us a call, Pro 93 Home Solutions. You can call us at 458-4135 or look us up on the web, pro93homesolutions.com. We'd love to help you, everything from handyman to full remodel. We have a full clean team, a green clean team as well that use non-chemicals green cleaning that you can be proud of and disinfect that meets all EPA regulations for disinfecting. We'd love to come out and give you a quote for maybe some recurring service at your home or your office. And one more time, that's 458-4135, pro93homesolutions.com. So now that I got the shameless plug out of the way, let's get back to fences. All right, so we talked a little bit about the chain link. We've talked about wire fence. We've talked about even sort of a ranch style, the cattle fence kind of a look. But let's get into what more and more people you're seeing more and more, and that's really privacy fences, whether they're wood, vinyl, even some of the iron fencing. We'll start where you want to. Maybe just start with how about just a wood privacy fence?
Yeah, okay. Wood has gone through the roof.
Yes, it has.
And it's so unpredictable that it's hard for us to really give an estimate anymore, because you can give an estimate under one price. You go to buy your materials, and no one told you, but it's changed prices, and sometimes significantly.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very difficult to give a price. Probably less than 6 months ago, we were almost $10 a foot less.
Oh yeah,
on wood privacy than we are right now, and that's my guys aren't making any more. We're not making any more. It's all, and they blame everything on COVID. I had COVID a few weeks ago, well, about a month or two ago, and I'm starting to blame everything on COVID now too. So that's
it makes a great scapegoat, doesn't it?
Yeah, but wood privacy is a great. It's affordable still compared to some, and it's durable. It lasts a long time, a lot longer than what people think. I still see them up 20 years later.
And I think one of the keys are maintenance is something that everybody can really do as far as sealing those things. Adding some sealer stain. It's paintable. It makes it a little easier to do something with.
Yeah.
What do you guys recommend with folks once you put it up?
Well, you have people that I call them that don't know what they're talking about. That's the kind of people.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of kidding. But you don't really have to do anything to a wood fence, because here's why. There's nothing you're going to do that can get deeper than the pressure treatment is.
Gotcha.
So there's a difference in decking. Decking is flat, so it's going to start holding water.
Yeah.
Fence being, up and down,
Yeah.
it's mostly going to drain off. Now, that's why we cut the tops of most wood a little angle so it drains off there.
Yeah.
But the reason you want to there is no maintenance, basically. If you don't want any maintenance, I have a wood fence in my backyard. I've had it almost 5 years, and I have done zero maintenance on it. And I was going to stain it, and which I still might. I take that back. The front part of it, I have done some pressure washing, and it will bring it back to almost the new look.
Yeah.
By pressure washing. But there's nothing you really have to do. If you want to do something to make it look better, stain. Never paint a fence, because then when it comes time to repaint it, you're going to be scraping, and it's just aggravation.
And then one other thing I think people realize is anytime you're doing anything pressure treated, if you are going to paint it or stain it, you don't do it immediately.
No, you want it to dry. You want the wood to be dry.
Yeah.
Just like if you want your bathroom to be dry when you paint it. It's the same concept.
You're not going to take a shower and then start painting the sheetrock.
So it's basically the same concept. The difference is the wood's outside. The pressure treatment does cause the wood to be wet, and they stack it immediately. In fact, one of the problems sometimes we have is when we get the wood, it's been sitting and it will have a little mildew on it, mold on it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. It's going to go away when it gets out in the sun. When the sun hits that, it's going to go away. But we had one not too long ago that the homeowner was concerned because it had some black spots on it. So I just sent a crew out with some spray stuff that we got down at Home Depot, sprayed it off, brushed it off. They was there about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and good as gold. But you don't have to do that. In the winter, it's going to last longer. During the summer, it's going to go away pretty quick.
So let's talk about vinyl fencing. You see more and more of those going in. And obviously it's typically more than lumber, but with lumber prices going up, if ever you were going to make the price difference is I haven't quoted one. Are vinyl prices going up as well?
Vinyl's going up, and we get notices all the time from our suppliers. Normally, when we order a vinyl product, PVC, your standard white, privacy, whatever, your front yard, picket fence, it's usually 4 to 6 weeks to get it in.
Yeah.
Now it's anywhere from 14 to 16 weeks to get it in.
Oh my gosh! And
with the storms and stuff, the weather in Texas, it's caused it to be even worse. And prices will go up. We got notice that prices from our wholesalers on any product is only good for 5 days. And
that makes it really nice to give an estimate these days, doesn't it?
We're having to let people know the prices especially on PVC, is volatile. Wood, I try to watch it almost every day, so I kind of get an idea, because I can actually look at the prices on wood. I can't look ahead on the prices on PVC because they don't tell us until it's gone up.
Yeah.
So, but wood, I can kind of get online and see what it's doing. So the PVC is a great product. It looks good. A lot of homeowners have it. We've done a lot of it. A lot of people are afraid that you're going to have some maintenance on it. The biggest problem you have, and if you drive down in the country, sometimes you'll see those ranch style 4-rail fences, and they'll have like green on them, and all that comes from the trees. If you don't have many trees in your yard, you don't have much of a problem. But if you do, you can either pressure wash it or wash it with some bleach mixture or some vinegar mixture, and it will wash off. So there's really nothing that you really have to do.
And they're pretty durable.
They're durable, yeah.
So we get up to the kind of the wrought iron. I kind of see that kind of making a little comeback here lately. In some of these
we do steel and aluminum that look just like the wrought iron.
Yes.
The disadvantage to wrought iron, and in fact we pass that off to other companies, is that you're talking about high maintenance.
Yeah.
Wrought iron is maintenance, because you'd have to, when it's time to paint, you're going to have to scrape it or brush it off pretty,
And if I remember chemistry in high school, iron and rust go together pretty well,
Yeah,
right?
yes. Now, aluminum, people talk about the aluminum. Most of our aluminum products carry a factory lifetime warranty on the finish. It's not going to rust unless a tree falls on it. Now, I have seen where lawnmowers get into it.
Yeah.
You just need to talk to your landscaping guy. Stay away from your fence. My landscaping guy got into my wood fence, and I've had to replace boards. But the best deal going in that ornamental fence product, the ornamental metal, is the aluminum, because it lasts forever. There is no upkeep. The only thing it can do is get damaged. I mean, there is nothing. If something falls on it, runs over it, then there's a problem. Otherwise, if you have your average backyard and you want an investment that's going to last and last, that aluminum, it is a little costly, but right now it's no different than wood.
Well, folks, you just got a primer in all things fencing, and I'm sure we didn't cover everything, but you heard him say, if it's a fence, we can do it. And he wasn't kidding. But it's that time, folks, where I'm going to put his knowledge to the test. Folks, we do this at the end of every show. It's called Mythbusters. Today we're doing Mythbusters Fence Edition. And I have scoured the interwebs. Scoured them to find some fantastic. I'm going to get you today, Tony.
Okay.
I just heard you talking about your aluminum fence, but I have it on good authority that you want to stay away from aluminum fences because they rust.
Well, if you have an aluminum fence that rusts, please let me come look at it.
I think we're going back to high school chemistry again.
Yeah, I think, because
somebody sold you it wasn't aluminum.
Yeah, it will definitely be a phenomenon,
So for those of you folks that don't remember high school chemistry, aluminum doesn't rust, folks. If you have aluminum that's rusting, chances are you don't have aluminum. So here's my other myth for you today. My fence is just as good as my property line. If it's on my property, that's where my property line begins and ends, and my neighbors can't say anything about it, Tony.
Well, unless you live in a homeowner association with restrictions, and they can tell you that before. Now, is your question about the property line or about the fence?
It's about both. I know you fence people are just out trying to take everybody's money with all your your crazy stories.
Some people want their fence on. I've had few of them. We always recommend coming about 6 inches off the property line.
Yeah.
The reason why is we're going to dig a hole, and the hole's going to be bigger than the fence post, and that way all your concrete, everything is on your property. So that's as far as that goes. Folks, we recommend that.
So that's your tip. Some of you folks, look, you can grab fencing at some of the big box stores in town, some hardware stores. If you're trying to do it yourself, listen to what the man just said. Don't put it don't start digging on your property line, because chances are you're putting a 4x4 post in the ground. You got at least 2 inches of it that's probably on your neighbor's property. So do yourselves a favor. If you're going to get into fencing, give Tony and his team, your son's Ryan, correct?
Ryan, yes.
Yeah, Tony and Ryan, give them a call. Sherry is way nicer than Tony is. She's so sweet.
Better looking too.
And listen, they'll take good care of you. You got a family company doing great work here locally. Give Benefield Fence, soon to be Benefence, and get your fence with Benefence.
There you go.
I love it. Tony, one more time, how do they get a hold of you guys?
Well, it's 423-790-9585. BenefieldFenceCompany.com. sales@BenefieldFenceCompany.com.
Great having you today, man. Thanks for coming over.
Much.
I appreciate you.
Dennis.
Hope you have a great Saturday. Folks, enjoy this beautiful weekend. Enjoy the weather. Take care of one another. Wear your mask if you can. Check on your neighbors. Folks, we really are in this together. Remember to love one another. Take care of one another. We'll see you next week. You've listened to Home Solutions here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz.